Welcome to another edition of TDOC Talks. Today we're here at Montgomery Bell State Park, and we're covering the TDOC K-9 Conference. I have Dan Strickland here with me. Thank you, Dan, for being with us.
My pleasure.
Dan, tell us a little bit about the K-9 Conference and what's going on here.
Well, it's the third annual. It's our second time at Montgomery Bell. Last year we were at Henry Horton. And we really like Montgomery Bell. It's got a lot of different terrains here. It has a lot of urban and rural settings for us to use, especially for the advanced courses we're teaching today. And we're trying to get all our dogs. Everybody went through the basic yesterday, and today is the advanced course. And we're looking at a mile-long course with a lot of different terrains, and we've got some new handlers and new dogs going through it again this year as we had last year. So it's important that we keep it up to keep the dogs, efficient. And so that's why we're back.
With as much as you can tell me, kind of walk me through what that tracking looks like.
Well, it starts, like in a urban setting, like an intersection, goes across other terrains across bridges, through water, over gravel, over pavement, through the woods, high grass, open fields, up and down, ravines and small hills and mountains. So it's a really big test of the dog and the handlers.
Okay, and I know our K-9s, they help in various efforts with other agencies across the state.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk to me about that a little bit.
Well, we get called a lot, especially in the rural sections of Tennessee, East Tennessee, and in West, to assist with lost and missing persons and search and rescue type events, and of course we help with fleeing felons a lot, especially with a lot of small counties that don't have that kind of resource, and that's something that they contact us for a lot through TEMA, through the local EMAs, through TEMA to me, and or just call the wardens at the facilities. And so these guys go out in all kinds of weather. Today it's nice and cool, but it could be raining or snowing, or in the summertime it could be really hot. We've got, in the summertime you got fleas and ticks and mosquitoes and snakes, and so it's a pretty, it could be a pretty tough job.
Now, what's the training like for the actual trackers? Like, how do they get involved with the dogs? Are the K-9s with them? They take care of them on a regular basis?
Well, the K-9s are kept at the facilities.
Okay.
The handlers are assigned that position. They have to train at least 16 hours a month. They try to do more if they can. They also have to be trained man trackers without a dog to know how to look at terrain. It just helps them help the dog.
Is there anything I didn't ask you that you'd like to share?
Well, I want to say thank you to all the wardens for allowing the handlers to be here today for this week, and for the taxpayers who help us keep our dogs maintained, kennels and fed, and the vet care that they get. So, yeah, thanks very much.
Thank you again, Dan, for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Up next, we're going to talk to Sergeant Lambert, who's in charge of training the K-9s and going out with them during the training exercises. We're here now with Sergeant Lambert. Thank you for being with us, Sergeant Lambert.
You're welcome.
And I understand you just got back from tracking, so kind of walk me through that.
Okay, it's advanced track. The requirements of the track age is for 2 hours. The person leaves, they leave a scent article. We wait 2 hours before we start the track. The track consists of leaving from an intersection, or urban area, crosses a lot of cross tracks through buildings. We went actually this and searched a maintenance shop. We went through a maintenance shop. We ended back at a pavilion over here on the left. The track was approximately 3 miles long.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So the track is obviously necessary for the K-9s to get certification or recertification. So what happens if a dog doesn't pass the test?
That's why we have 3 stages actually. We have a jump and run, which is 100 yards long. It's a hot track. It's just like somebody jumped out of a vehicle, run 100 yards and laid down. Okay. That's the first step. They run that track. If they pass that track, they go to the basic, which is a 1/4 mile long, 2 turns in it. They got to cross a cross track. And that'll get them through if the institution or somebody needs them. But real life story, the advanced track is what we run into. You know, we pull up in the parking lot, got no idea which way they went, and we start a track. But that's why I like to see everybody do the advanced track. And some of the dogs are younger dogs, they're just getting started, but they just have to go back and work on aging their tracks. They run a lot of hot tracks, so they just need to go back and age their tracks a bit longer.
What makes a good tracking dog?
It's, you know, usually it's the bloodline. I like the bloodhounds. I like a purebred bloodhound, and most of them you get, it's been crossed, and I don't want that. And I like to see a lot of dogs with a lot of drive, which is really gets out there and wants to hunt. The hunt part of it is what it's all about, and I love to see that.
Now, how long have you been working with the dogs?
I started in 1989, and I actually started working bloodhounds in 1992. I do all the certification for the drug dog handlers. I train all the dogs, all the bloodhounds, and the handlers. So, you know, pretty busy.
Well, clearly, and you've been doing it for a while. So what's the most fulfilling part for you? What's your favorite part about this job?
It's just so fulfilling to see someone make a find. You know, if it's a small amount of marijuana, or if you found a lost kid, or a fleeing felon, it's just so much, and it just makes you feel so good. I mean, I love my job.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being with us, Sergeant Lambert.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining us for another edition of TDOC Talks. And remember, you can always find us on our website, tn.gov/correction, and on all of our social media platforms. Until next time.